Good afternoon folks, welcome back to the channel. Update 1.29 has occurred, so we're diving straight into the human comedy and we're going to get down to Alsace. I've got a gem of a car for you today. The car is the Miura P400 Bertone Prototype 67. We're going to be shod with comfort medium tyres. Target PP is 465. So we've got the comfort tyres on, normal suspension, fully customizable diff to keep that back end in track. We've put the rear wing on it and the rear bumper. We just changed the rear downforce to 162 just to try and balance out the PP. Fully customizable ECU set to 70, power restrictor at 81. We've got the manual transmission adjusted to 290. We've got the brake balance controller. We've got increased body rigidity, and we've got a semi-racing clutch and flywheel. Now with that, brake pads up to racing, but there's no other mods. Nothing else we can do really within the power limits. Let's go to the track. So here we are at the track. Settings for today's race will be assist settings, traction control 1, default ABS. Anybody that knows me, you've watched enough of my videos, you'll know where these are, but these are done. I just run through this just for all the new starters that come along to the channel have just found me. Manual transmission, with it being manual transmission, controller settings will be buttons at the open configuration, controller sensitivity 0, max torque feedback 5, feedback sensitivity 5. So what we're talking about today, we currently have the fastest of our friends. We're on 25 laps. We did that in the A220 race car, the old Alpine. Now, stunning car that was, it was a race car. The Miura somewhat isn't, but we've previously done this 4 or 5 times with different cars, and you can see how people have taken up the mantle and got themselves gold. Anybody in 24 has got the gold, but there's loads of choice to choose from. Look at that, the R8 Gordini's made it as well. Superb stuff. Top 10 stars, well, they're all using the Meta car, which is no longer possible because you can't get the PP down. I'd love to give that a crack myself, but it just isn't going to be possible because it doesn't work. Should we dive straight in and then I'll talk about the car, and we've got an hour to spend together, so here we go. Lovely car, this is stunning colours. It changed up to 4th, which wasn't very good of it. We're starting in 12th place for the race. And with it being update 1.29, it's the day of the upload. We haven't actually given this any tests. We're going to see if the physics has changed a massive amount. I've read through the old change notes. There isn't much. There's some aero changes, it says, for the online races, but nothing particular here. So we're just coming up on the back of Mr. Healy in the other Miura. Now this is a twitchy but drivable car. It doesn't particularly step out a lot, but it's very much on the knife edge when you come out of a corner. If the back end gets out, it tends to be controllable. We just applied downforce to the rear and the customizable rear LSD, which helped big time. And we're up to 6th place already, behind Mr. Konomos. Some of these cars have changed. Oh! No, we're not having that. Here we go then. Just going to come across the line, wondering what changes have happened for 1.29 to these races. Well, that didn't happen last night. A little bit of a gear wobble as we went over the line. Kind of expecting all sorts of changes. The main competitor to watch out for in this race is the VW Type 2 bus. He's got an engine swap and he is certainly pushes hard through the race. Bit of a nudge off the old Renault there. Up alongside the old Skyline with his race number on. Diving down the hill up the inside of the other Miura. We're going to attempt to take him out. We're not going to take him out, just take him on. Up behind Mr. Konomos in the green Lambo. Back end just wants to come around, but we keeps it controllable. As I was saying, we don't really know what changes have taken place in update 1.29. Get off the apex, come on. The AI certainly haven't changed their habits. And this is just normal AI because I'm on a PS4. PS5 in the wings, hopefully one day. Got other priorities in life at the moment, just with rebuilding a car that I managed to trash last week. So PS5 is a future thing for me, but hopefully we can keep this content coming that you can enjoy and learn from. And if you are a PS5 user, well, I'm afraid I can't demonstrate that to you until I've got one. So long story short, that'll be in the future. Let's see where we are in the race then. So we're 7th place, and it looks like the roster has had a change since 1.27, the last update we were running on. This car should be able to keep pace with the rest of the pack. We're just going to switch the fuel supply up to see where we are. Brake balance we're going to put all the way to the front. We should have plenty of tyres. And it looks like we're going to get 11 laps out of this. Braking early for the hairpin before the start finish. In behind Mr. Sus Willow. We're just going to line him up. See if we can make honest races of the guys in front. So 7th place, 4.3 seconds behind the leader. 2 New Zealanders behind us, or are they Australians? Definitely New Zealanders. They all sound the same to me. No, they don't. Sorry folks, playing games. Oh, don't close the door too much. Up behind Mr. Brooks, the Canadian in the BMW. Oh, he's just tapped my rear end, made it go ever so light. Now I'm hoping folks for this to be a really close competitive race. Oh, there's a balloon up there that he's shooting down. Faster lap. Let's hope these boys don't stop on the apex so they can run through. They're fighting plenty. 4.4 seconds off the lead. Just need to clear that Datsun and we're away. Now we can concentrate wholly from 6th place on Mr. Brooks. As I say, we should be able to get 11 laps in. We're aiming to do a 2-stop strategy. Unlike what we did though at the Deep Forest, we're not going to try and split this. We're going to try and do it splash and dash at the end, maybe for one lap of fuel. The aim is to wear the competitors down in front of us. We haven't got a massive amount of torque in this car. Acceleration's pretty slow, so we'll have to keep smooth laps. We'll have to keep just plodding along, just pushing on. Try and break in a straight line. Up into 5th place then, and Mr. Lopez is our next target. Looking in our rear all the time for the VW camper type 2 bus that's going to come through and take the lead, or it did in 1.27. Fastest lap is now with us, a 2:28.961. Now this race also has Mr Bean's Mini running round and a little Fiat Bath also charging around the circuit. They cause their own sort of levels of confusion in this race by being just increasingly slow and just sort of mobile roundabouts really. You just got to go round them every time you get to them, and you just want to hope you don't meet them on the corner on the apex when you've chosen the decisive line. But one would hope, or wish to hope, that they aren't going to be too much of a problem for us today. See how the back end just got a little bit squirrely. Still on top of the lap time though. We were just a little bit narrow on arrival to that corner then. We just had to do a bit of adjustment, a bit of soaring at the steering wheel just to get the front end round. Well, the Ferrari there just got the back end out. We'll follow and do exactly the same thing. Well, what we shouldn't be worried about, folks, is just managing the race position at this point. We are hoping to get we're hoping to get faster and lighter on this tyre set. We're not going to change tyres at all. We're just going to reload the fuel. First pit stop will be a full fuel type scenario. We're just going to stop, take all the fuel, and then charge our way through for another tank. And then the last lap, we're going to attempt to just absolutely fly it with a single or 2 lap fuel fill up. Try and get us to the end. We're aiming for the 25 laps. The Miura should be capable. It's a phenomenal car of its day, very iconic. If there was one car I would certainly love to have in my garage, my stable, this car looks absolutely lovely. It's got classic lines, very much different to your normal car. I mean, it reminds me in some ways of the Scimitar, the old Reliant Scimitar, but very different shaped headlights. It has sort of reminiscent of a number of other cars of the era. So whilst my brain just remembers and tries to think while I'm driving, which it can't at the moment, so I'll have to come back to that, but it is a very stylish car. And with the simple mods we've done to it, it's extremely quick. Whether they're realistic or not, I don't know. Oh, we just overslid that corner and gave the Dino just a little bit of something it didn't really care for. The Dino itself is a beautiful car as well. So the Jensen Interceptor was the car I was trying to think of. It's very much similar in my mind to that, except it hasn't got that same rear balance. It's only a 2-seater as well. The Interceptor had a big rear glass, but I hope you'd understand what I mean by a similarity to. Just reminds me of that type car. So we're in 3rd place now, behind Mr. Mangano and Mr. Hizal. Mr. Hizal flying along at the front in what looks like to be the Mercedes. I've just managed to purchase that car. It was just available in Negatives. So that could have been a choice for today's race, but I saw this and thought, no, you bought that a little while ago, this is the one to have. Almost brushed that wall there. We're still putting in the lap times. This is great. We stopped a little bit early there. And there's the first of the mobile roundabouts. We saw the little Abarth there, the little Fiat just trundling along. See if we can get around him. These guys just sort of met him on the straight, and it's a bit uncomfortable when you have to lift. We're not going to take the wide sweeping line they take. We're just going to be a bit narrow. So, end of lap 5, 10 minutes gone. So, 5 laps in 10 minutes, no, end of lap 4 that was, so that's 10 minutes is 4 laps. So if we timed this up, that's 24 laps for the race without pit stops. It's not feeling very good. We need to get a bit quicker. 2:27, 2:11. Not seeing any Beetle bus. He's not, the Type 1 camper van isn't coming as I anticipated he would. Well, that was very, 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 very slidey through that corner. That's Mr. Mangiano put to the rear. Now we've got to chase down Mr. Hizal. We slid so far wide then, lost a bit of time. And there's Mr. Bean's Mini, just ahead of us coming out of the right-hander. He's taking the blue flags and he's going to happily ignore them all day, I think. Itchy nose. Does he have a black bonnet? Yes, he does. It's more yellow than green though, I would suggest. Just need to keep Mr. Hizal in check. Make sure we're still with him. He can go to the pit lane and pit stop whenever he likes. We will just keep ourselves in the catbird seat, I think, is the best phrase. If we stay here with him, just knowing that we're here all day long, he can make mistakes left, right and centre, and we'll just take his position as and when he does it. So if we can stay behind him as well, we'll just conserve a bit of fuel, but it gives us the chance to do the undercut. If we get the opportunity, if he pits before we do, we can just be a bit more cute with the throttle, coast into corners where we can. This won't be a new lap time, no. He's gone to the inside to block the line by the looks of it. It's gone very narrow on a blocking line. We're going to run it longer and wider. Try and carry a bit more speed. Not that wide, come on. Talk about taking things seriously. Lift and coast, just trying to eke out as much with this vehicle as we can. He had a better line through there, didn't he? He managed to get out of there quicker. Happy days. We went a bit narrow. That is the one thing I do, very narrow into corners. Tend to make up for it over the long run though. So we're in second place, just 1.112 seconds behind the leader. Oh, sideways sliding, beautiful, get the power down. We're ahead of Mangano, Brooks, Lopez, Maragolina. Who's Maragolina? That's new to me. Suswillo and Konomos. Do we have a new driver in the VW camper bus? If we do, he's not putting any lap times in. Looks like, you know, that if there's no VW bus, that's a nice drift around that corner, isn't it? Nicely set up, this car. If there's no VW camper bus, that's changed this race. I know they toned him down in previous versions, but at 1.27 last night he was still charging hard, because I ran a test demo for this last night, didn't save it, didn't record it, I just did a drive through, made sure we were all good. That's why this car has got some miles on it. I bought it second hand, so it's going to have miles on it, but I ran it through last night for the full hour. I had some sort of expectation as what to expect this morning, but I didn't know what changes 1.29 would bring. Hopefully not too much in terms of physics. The car feels good, as it did last night. Can't see many changes in PP. I've had a quick browse through my car library, and most of the cars I've got are modified to a certain PP for specific races. Nothing seems to have changed massively. Well, this is turning out to be quite a race. This is going to be one of the closest races I've probably had against the AI at the Human Comedy. normally. It could be just the car though, I must admit. I've spent some time researching a car that is going to be competitive and going to be fairly fast around here, and it's great to be able to have an actual race where we're forced into trying to be tight and clean and race properly. Which brings me around to the Sophie conversation. Sophie's there to be driven now if you've got the PS5. I am unfortunately missing out on that, which did really mess about with my emotional thoughts about it last night. I got a bit mardy, I must say, realising that my worst fears would come true, is that this is potentially now the death of the PS4 as a Gran Turismo platform, where all the new additions are all going to come to the PS5, which, if you're anyone of anyone, you'll get to realise that that is the way it was going to go anyway, so it's no surprise. You shouldn't really get, like me, a bit mardy about it. Well, I love this game to bits, and generally enjoy the gameplay, I enjoy what it's all about, and I understand why people criticise the game, but I don't feel that myself as a criticism, that this game needs criticism. I think it's really quite good compared to everything else we've got. I mean, I can go and play all sorts of things on my PC that aren't possible on the PlayStation, but I don't think any game has got quite the same level of attention to detail that Gran Turismo have, and I don't know any other game that's given me quite so much pleasure in sort of the playing hours. I'd be interested just to see how many playing hours I've got into this game, and it's there on the stats page. I know it's there. So that was a 2:26.944, first of the times in the 2:26s. Now we're just sort of lining up his Al. We're in a position now to take him as we get past him there. We've got 5 more laps we can put in. We aren't seeing any sign of a camper. Is he going to come charging at the death of the race? One would hope not. We seem to be measuring and pacing ourselves. Oh, he's coming up the inside of me. Oh, it's going to be tricky for you to be there, Signor. Oh, here's another one of those mobile roundabouts just approaching. So just noticed there as he entered that corner, one of the benefits of putting the brake balance all the way to the front is you can weight shift the car, reduce the weight on the back axle. As you tip the throttle, the back end just slides out that little bit. We're both past the bath. I'd like to take a straighter line out this corner and get on the gas early. There we go, touch the wall. There'll be sparks behind us of this most beautiful Miura. What I am experiencing less of today is less of the rear axle locking when I change down to first into the corner. It's a technique I've sort of developed that allows the back end to check the back end of the car. It's just by changing down, and last night when I was playing this through, the back end would lock up, but not today, so maybe there is a small physics change that has been applied. Racing line is now pretty much stamped on the track. Look, you can see the edge of the racing line where all the marbles would be. We're now 1.2 seconds in the lead ahead of his Al, expecting people to go to the pits fairly soon. First of the pit stop should be happening around lap 9. It looks like we're going to get 12 laps in, which would see us. Oh, Mr. Healy's gone. No, Somebody's gone to the pits. Can't remember, didn't see who it was. I just saw the pit sign come up. I was just about to say, it should see us get 12 laps in this stint, and then we'll get 12 laps in the second stint, with a need to pit for 1 lap to get that 25th lap in. So we're going to need to be pitting somewhere around the 30-minute mark, which would be great. So we have another 9 minutes to do 3 laps, 3.5 laps. Which seems to be roughly we're on target for. 2.5 minute laps, looks to be fairly decent, fairly consistent. We just don't need any incidents, just a double tap of the brake there, got the back end to come round. We look to be on target for the 25th lap. Seem to put in extra mileage here at this part of the circuit, but you need it to get up this hill. The back end of the car likes to step out there as the weight shift transfers. Mr. Hizal has just put in the fastest lap behind us. He beat us by 0.46 of a second. He did well. Mr. Bean in front of us. As our fuel load lessons, we're just starting to put in some 228s. Back off Mr. Mini. So the pressure has transferred from Hizal to me, and I think Hizal's just got stuck behind the Mini. Oh, that was unfortunate, wasn't it? We're just gaining time on him at that point as Marglino and Brooks go to the pits. I was just a bit casual, cautious into that corner then. Need to try and brake a little later into that corner and carry more speed. We're out on the marbles, the back end's a little bit loose, and he's just gaining some time back on us. We've got less fuel weight, so we should be able to carry a bit of speed. The tyres on the rear are now just starting to show a little bit of wear, which isn't a problem. These tyres are going to go the whole race. If we could get the softs on, they would also carry us through the whole race, but as it is, we can't afford to sacrifice the PP for the softs. I would have been doing more videoing this morning, except we've had some scaffolding put up out the outside of our house, a steel framework for some work that's going on. Again, another reason why I can't just go out and purchase a new PlayStation is because I've got all this building work going on and it all costs money. And there's just different things going on at the time. So we're having the electrical system replaced in the house with solar panels, and going to start to try and go off grid and be a little bit more friendly to the environment, not drawing power from the main grid, but hopefully being able to feed back into the main power system with a power station on the roof of the house. I know it's not unusual, but there's a great song for you. It's not unusual. 4.3 seconds ahead now. Let's see if we can put together a decent lap and try and get that fastest lap of the race back in our fingers. Hizal's now gone to the pits, so we should have broken the back of them. We have 2 more laps that we can do at this point. Looks like we're going to try and be able to stretch this fairly long, this tank of fuel. Still want to be in the pits before the 30 minutes is up. It would be nice to be out of the pits before the 30 minutes is up. Don't know how close that is going to be. If we can just count these seconds down and get back in the 27 seconds, we should be able to make this competitive, and we should be able to get on that 25th lap, 2:24s, and we will be that would happen whilst we're in the pit lane to get onto lap 25, one would suggest. That'd be terrific to make that happen that way, sort of almost finish the race while we're in the pits. I don't know what would happen if the timer counted down whilst we were in the pits. There's that change down to first. Oh, and that is another event for the mobile roundabout. What's this? Third time we're gonna pass this young man, Mr. Orlando. Blooming marvellous. So it's saying 1.1 laps. Looks like we're going to have enough fuel to get round and do the next lap, definitely. Let's get it on. And the fastest lap is back with us. Come on, Hizal, take it to me. This is a battle for the victory. We're 22 seconds ahead. Not forgetting Lopez is now behind us, but Hizal's already had his pit stop, so there's a chance that, depending on how long the pit stop lasts, that we might not come out in first place. And it might work for Hizal on the undercut. Takeda's gone into the pits, just on 2% of fuel. Now we're going to be actually on fumes when we get round there. 2 minutes and 2 seconds before we get round. That'll be 12 laps complete, and we're 0.2 of a second up on our previous best at this point in the race. Well, this lap, to be honest. Sometimes my mouth works ahead of my brain. Sometimes I have to just get in to check what I'm commentating on, but it's tremendously difficult, as I'm sure you'll imagine. There was a time when I used to do these races. I used to race the race, then I used to voice over commentary. But the way it is today, I've sort of developed this skill to be able to try and do it, and some people find it funny that I just talk a load of rubbish sometimes, just like now. However, some people also like to race it and they enjoy the commentary. 3/4 of a second up, this lesser fuel rate has really changed how the car handles. It really is flying with almost zero fuel. It says 0.2 in there. Oh my lord, are we actually going to get back with fuel in the tank? One would hope so. Just going to keep the power down, 0.1. I'm going to let off at the top of the hill and coast down. Attacking that corner. Zero fuel. There we are. We're not taking the tyres, don't change. 28.6 seconds ahead. So we're just going to take the fuel. The fuel's flowing, it's relatively quick. We're taking the whole lot. And look at the timer, 30 minutes. If we need to be 4 seconds quicker over the next 12 laps. We need to be 4 seconds quicker. Let's hope we can do that to get that 25th lap in. The race is on. So we're just going to watch that timer tick down in the top left hand corner now. 17 seconds ahead. Sus Willow's gone to the pits. It's now Hizal behind us. 17 seconds, 18 seconds deficit. And we've got no sign at all of a Type 2 VW camper. It's not even charging through the field. Fastest lap of the race is ours, a 2:26.780, which is 0.2 seconds ahead of the previous best, which was a 9 something, a 2:26.990, maybe 960, can't remember. We had a 990 and we got beaten by Hizal. Push on 17.8 seconds in the lead. 28 minutes remaining of the race. See if we can get the nose to come in. It tried. That's better up the hill. Car seems to want to pick up just a little bit just then. Just modulating the brake as we entered that corner there to try and keep the speed on, letting the car roll and flow. So the out lap is a 2:45. We're now on to the key critical laps that need to be much quicker. Over these 12 laps we need to find 6-7 seconds. Those 6 or 7 seconds are going to be critical to that 25th lap. If this car can prove itself to be one of the top contenders. I haven't kept a league table, I must admit. I do see people on various platforms trying races, for example Tokyo 600. They keep a league table of fastest cars covering that event. I haven't. I've just posted multiple versions of the race with the outcome. And if you wanted to measure that and there was something you wanted to do, please do so. What I was hoping for today was a car that would give us a nice close race, something of a bit of a battle. Something I could demonstrate that GT7 has the ability to produce really good AI racing, and it will do with Sophie. Roll on a PlayStation 5, happy days. Fourth gear not great into that corner, change into third. Just get the power back on, let the back end come round, counter steer to bring it in. I wonder how much change there's been made to the game today for the lap time challenge at Daytona Road Course. I must have a dabble in there this afternoon and see if we can improve any. I've unfortunately already improved but forgot to save the lap. Just going to make it past Mr. Bean. I think that was Paul Potts. Back end swinging a bit. Well, we're hoping for a 2:26 or a 2:27. Don't want a 2:28. Full tank of gas, it's going to be slow, one would expect. A 2:27 almost dead. We just braked a wee bit too late there. Then we bogged down on traction to get out the corner. Oh, and look ahead of us. It looks like we've got the first of the lap cars. Looks like we're about to catch up with the main pack. great to understand if that was a beetle bus that I just saw at the top of the hill. Then understand if they've taken the engine swap out of it. It looks like the VW camper bus. He'll probably go like hot stink when I get anywhere near him. He will suddenly wake up and realise there's a race on. To get a VW camper bus moving quite as quick as it does anyway is quite impressive. What were they, a 1.5 engine back in the day? Air cooled. Mr. Ordonez is still the driver. Yes, it was Mr. Ordonez, wasn't it, in the previous races? Gonna go to his right hand side. He leaves room. He knows he's beaten. He's had his rather large Porsche engine taken off him. Coming around to the Abarth again, Mr. Orlando. How come we've caught him up? Maybe he came past us when we pit stopped, maybe. Or have we just managed to put a lap on him quite rapidly? Coming through the line again, let's hope we've got a 2:27. There it is. Needs to be quicker though, need to get those seconds back. We lost the time in this corner, didn't we, last lap? That's that done a little bit better. So lap 16, we're 40 seconds ahead of Mr. Mangiano. His Al's obviously pitted again. We are 9 laps, including this one, away from our pit stop. And my brain isn't going to attempt to do the maths to work out whether we're on schedule to make lap 25 or not. The question is, as we come round at the end of lap 24, looking for that 25th lap, if we've not got any fuel, do we just plunge it across the line to get lap 25? Do we not bother to stop for fuel? Do we just get across and that's lap 25, 25 laps done, hoping that the timer ticks down behind us? Well, we are significantly ahead of the guys behind us. And that will mean we've done this race as a one-stopper. I don't know what the result is going to be. I can't compute it yet. But if it's possible that we can do the 24th lap and throw it across the line for 25, that would be tremendous. I don't think we can go fast enough to generate an extra lap, can we? We would have to be running 10 seconds quicker a lap, 20 seconds quicker a lap, and that's not going to happen in this beast. Let's just keep going though. 27s would be great. She feels a bit sluggish up the hill. Into 4th at the top of the crest. Seconds in the lead. Another 27, just slowing down fractionally. That's us though, getting lazy. Missed the apex. There's a whole second there lost in 27s in the last 3 laps. I think it's a great car to drive though. it does virtually what it tells you. It doesn't like to spin out. If it gets out of shape, it will come back in and it'll be a bit obedient. There's the whole car sliding. That's beautiful. Feels terrific. We're going to just open the line up through this corner, get the back end out, put the power down. Back end's coming round. We're not going to lose it. Opposite lock there. Showboating. Same here. Just saw at the wheel to bring it back in check. Fourth gear. Braking a straight line here, down to second. Get the car round. Just tap the brake just to bring the back end round. Get it to turn because you've got all of your braking on the front wheel. We've got the brake balance push forwards. That'll allow the back end to turn. Get the power down. There we go, drifting it round. It's beautiful. Feels really good when you get it right, but is it that much of a knife edge that we can get it tremendously wrong? We don't want to get it wrong, so we're just going to be cautious about just how we attack and approach these corners. See if showboating has affected the lap time any. 18 minutes to go. Not starting to see any massive amount of wear on the tyres. Slid that a little bit too much through that corner, I think. Back in the 26s. Going to break a fraction early for this one, just try and neaten this corner up. There we go, beautifully done. Who's in front of us up the hill? Nobody. There is somebody there, but we can't see him. Not forgetting the 4 or 5 cars at the back we were ahead of, we didn't see, so never overtaken them before. That back end moving, come on. See how we go. We're almost half a second up. Get that turn one right, it makes all the difference. So 48 seconds in the lead. Focus on the road, Jim. Don't look around. Looking for inspiration for commentary. Go, there's the car I'm chasing down. I can't see what it is yet. Want to be able to drift that one all the way round. It's a great little setup, this. Just a moment's inspiration last night, just to I ran 5 or 6 laps, then made some changes to the car based on what it was giving me. Put that rear diff on default settings, nothing changed. And it just absolutely drives a dream. It's really nice. It's how you'd want a car like this to feel like it was driving. 6 laps of fuel to go. Try and get this to stop into this corner, there it is. As we come up again on the back of the Mini. Almost 50 seconds clear. See if we can squeeze. 25. Absolutely superb. So we're gaining time back now. This is what we want. We don't want any incidents. We don't want to put the car off the track anywhere. We want to keep him pointing in the right direction. Just 15 minutes left of the race now, which would tell me there'd be 6 laps to go, including this one, so that would make lap 25. Mr. Orlando Just going to meet you just after the bend. That was a bit rough. Lost a bit of the gloss on the edge there. Is this a Jaguar? He's taking the blue flags, whoever he is. No, it looks to be American muscle car, doesn't it? Yes. So Mr. Margolino's gone into the pits. In the pursuit of grip, most of these guys have taken the soft tyres, which is limiting their power. We're going to start to flow through these cars now and see if we can go past him with the tail out. It's affecting our line through the corner, so not as much as we wanted to showboat our way past him, but we did okay. 51 seconds in the lead. Met Mr. Harrington before. A Brit driving a big old American car. Now we've got to focus on the next car in line. Find out who it is, find out what the car is. Back end just first time really giving us any sort of issue coming up that hill. 5 laps to go. Looking at the fuel, this could be a problem if we're on the last lap, because we want that to keep fueled until we cross the line. Let's wait for it to drop to 4.9. We've run out of fuel there. That's a shocker. Gonna have to start fuel saving just a little bit to get us across the line. 12 minutes 30 seconds left. Never completely stop when you run out of fuel. You get to do 50 mile an hour. We might be able to do 50 mile an hour all the way around the last lap. We know it won't be the fastest car, but it'll be able to do 25 laps, which will be terrific. So that last lap was a 2:27.7, which isn't bad. We had an overtake in there, we had to adjust our line through one of the bigger corners. We've got another American muscle car in front of us, haven't we? Is it a Camaro? Mr. Brooks has gone to the pits. We're 52 seconds in the lead. Mr. McEwen from the big old US of A. Get that back end round a wee bit. Straightened up on us. Mr. McEwen, we're coming through tight side. Thank you, sir. Back end came round sharpish there. Wonder what that's done for our lap time. Don't need that back end to come around. It's starting to get light again with the lower fuel. Don't have to coast it over the top there. I need the fuel to come back. To coast over the top of the hill for the last 3 or 4 laps. It looks like we're going to get 20 odd seconds of a gap and need 4 more laps. Oh my. Who's in front of us? Looks like a rapid old race car. 55-second lead over Mangiano. Is Al still pushing along, followed by Soswillo, Lopez, Cato, Pinell and Brooks. No Gallo. Mr. Konomos in the Lambo. We're on lap 21, folks. The end is coming on. We're into the last 10 minutes. The back end is coming around and we just lined up straight on the back of the Lamborghini there. That wasn't helpful. Mr. Cato's gone to the pits. 8% of fuel he's got left. Probably not enough to get him round on one lap. It would have been good enough for us because that's what we're using per lap. 12 laps into 100 is 8% per lap. Obviously doesn't want to run it dry. We've just got to check when we get to the top of the hill that we've got more fuel remaining than we did last time. The last lap was a 27.3 with a let off at the top of the hill. .57 seconds in the lead. We need to just keep pushing on. We have the fastest. I'm going to let off here. We have the fastest lap of the race at 2:25.935, which was a bit of a surprise. That was almost a second faster than the previous fastest lap. So we crossed the line with enough fuel there. We can probably get round the last 3 laps now. 7 minutes odd, 7 minutes 30 is the key point. We're gaining time as we go, so it's a question of, do we want to stop for that extra lap of fuel for the 25th lap, or are we just going to go as far into the 25th lap as we can go and then be stuck on the fuel we've got? We're a minute ahead, so anybody that crosses the line behind us won't actually be an issue because they'll all take the flag and their race will be complete because they're all over a minute behind. Anybody that isn't is going to be lapped, so they're going to come past us and not be a problem. It's an interesting dilemma to have. I think I would prefer to take the fuel and race the last lap rather than... So there's Mangiano and Hizal gone to the pits together again. So our lead is just going to increase. But they're not going to take a full tank of fuel this time. They're only going to take 3 or 4 laps, aren't they? You would anticipate. Let the car run a little bit high through that corner and brake 2 into it rather than accelerating through it. Here we do come up behind the old Mini Fiat 500. Another classic icon of a car. And I think that's what this race needs, is icon cars. Just like the one we're driving, and it's performing beautifully. 1 minute 15 seconds in the lead. Just going to lift off on the gas again just to make sure we've got enough to get us home. I think we have now. 5 minutes 30 seconds left of the race. 5 minute 32, 5 minute 30 at that point there. We should amply have at least 30 or 40 seconds, so generally we are going to have time to pit stop and take that fuel, so that's what I'm going to do. But we're going to do that right at the last knockings. Looks like the Mini again as we come round to lap him. It's got a 5th gear, wow. If we wanted to, oh look at that, cut that corner. Are we going to get a penalty for that? Highly likely, I would suggest. We don't need to be doing that, but that's what happens. I changed up to 5th gear. There's no need to shorten the gears, folks. They're doing exactly what they're designed to do. They give us the perfect weight balance. We're getting around these corners. The lower gearing gives us traction. and combined with the traction control, it's an absolute gem. You can drift with traction control, believe it or not. Is this the Gordini we're about to come across the back of? Again, excuse the phrase. Mr. Beauvoir, very popular racer, normally much nearer the front than he is today. Hope he's inside. Definitely a Renault Classic. 1 minute 22 seconds in the lead. Probably just braked a little too late there. 1.1 laps of fuel left. We've got 3 minutes as we cross the line, so we're going to have 30 something seconds, which is brilliant. We managed to gain 30 seconds over 12 laps, which is phenomenal, by just running consistent 27s, 26s, and we threw a 25 in there as well. So being below 2 minutes 30 was the key. It was those in laps and out laps that consume all the time. So this is the penultimate lap of the race. 2 minutes 23 to go. We probably should have pitted 1 lap earlier, just to guarantee that we get through the line and have the chance to do that 25th lap. But hey ho, this will never be the fastest lap of the race because we've got an in lap. Sun's going down now as the sun dips behind the hills. Don't know what the headlights are going to be like on this, whether we're going to need them at all as we come round for the final lap. 1 minute 32 remaining, it's going to be tight. We get the full drift going. Beautiful. I don't know what that would look like on the external camera. It would take me an hour to record the replay. A minute to go at the top of the hill. We're going to go and get the fuel. So it's 30 seconds from the bottom of the hill to cross the line. I can't believe that. That's where a lot of the time is consumed on this lap. We're messing about now, showboating. Let's go and get that last bit of fuel. We're not taking the tyres. We're going to take 1 lap of fuel. The clock's in the red. And we're away. 1 lap of fuel. 19 seconds remaining. For whatever reason, it was in 4th gear both times we pitted. On the countdown then. The race is officially about to finish at this point now. Everybody going through the start-finish line will take the checkered flag. We should be potentially the last people on this. Oh, there's a car behind us. Not entirely sure who that is, but we'll get an in lap and an out lap, and we'll be on 25 laps alongside the Renault. Sorry, the Alpine A110 or 220, whichever one it was that we used before. Brain not working. We're 1 minute 31 ahead of Mangiano. Gazal pitted to lose him the place in second. He looked bang on for second place all race, having set the fastest lap at some point, but Mangano came through and took it. So Swillow takes the bronze in third. And we're just going to jolly our way to the end. But unfortunately, I don't think the Miura will get a place on the leaderboard. But in my heart and mind, it's one of the better cars for around here. If you want a car that's really drivable, fun to drive and great to play date with, he's absolutely awesome to just play around with and get the back end going. Absolute stunner of a car, and like I say, worth its place in history. Hope you enjoy this, folks, and if you want to recreate this race, this will give you a great, it's not as close as I wanted to do, but it's another great race from Gran Turismo. Well done the team. Here we go through the line, 0.2 laps with a slow in lap, but there it is, first place on 25. Ooh, that was great. I really enjoyed that. Everybody lapped. Let's see how many lap times we lapped the boys at the back. So up to Connor Moss were lapped twice, and Potts and Orlando were 6 and 7 times they were lapped. Superb. There she is, there's the Miura. Absolutely stunning car, great experience to drive that. And the massive change with this race, with not having the Beetle bus having the engine swap, which is disappointment. However, there we go, folks. Thank you for joining me today. Real respect for you, for subscribing, for liking, for chatting, for putting comments in. Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. All the best.